Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hey, do you like true crime? Me too. And I know what you're thinking. There's so many true crime pods out there, you've already heard all the stories. Well, what if I were to tell you you're wrong? I'm Leroy Luna, the host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the podcast that takes a hardcore look at softcore crime. I've got a back catalog of hundreds of bizarre and hilarious stories just waiting to be heard by you. So come join me. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th every month, baby!
Lez hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what Lez is about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Lez hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Lez Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where you can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. In season 8, we are continuing to release our Patreon bonus episodes. Our first Patreon bonus episode is out on Saltburn, and we have 22 other episodes up. You can listen to those at bit.ly/LesPatreon. Our next Patreon episode will be on Dix the Musical. So can't wait for that one. And I know
Coming
you
out
can't
just
either.
before Christmas. Merry Christmas,
Dickmas.
everyone. Yeah, let's hang out where we celebrate Dickmas.
You never thought
year.
you'd hear that from us.
Our Merry Dickmas merch will be dropping soon. In other news, we're going to France. We want you to come with us. So, listen, we're going to be putting up those spots. There's going to be a limited amount of spots for this trip, too. So, as soon as we open that, you should be keeping an eye on our website to be the first to know all the details and how to sign up.
Also, if you're on our mailing list, you will get that information as well. So the best way to hear about it is to sign up for our mailing list. If you shoot us an email with your email, we would love to hear from you. In the Greater Lez universe, we actually just recorded an episode with Juno Rosenhaus, which will be coming out in a few weeks. And she is an incredible dyke in Philadelphia who hosts the Dyke Plus Art House. And she has an exhibit going on right now called 20 Dykes Over 40 in Philadelphia. It's going to be running until December 29th. So if you live in Philly or if you're just stopping by, you should check it out.
We have done a disservice to all of you because we have not yet discussed the Strapple-Roan supremacy of The Giver.
Honestly, that song straps.
It really does. And so listen, we just want to say, I know that there's a lot of ways in which being gay is
Hard
right now. There's things are bad out there right now. And so I just think we need the silver lining that is Chapel Roan continuing to give us these absolute incredible bops of songs, which I think I described it to Kelsey as saying Chapel Roan for however many songs she's ever written on leaving anything to the imagination. And we love her fun.
Yes. I love also just the complete, just you can be a pillow princess. I don't care.
Yeah.
Take it like a taker, baby, I'm a giver.
Incredible.
It's
Stone
wonderful.
Tops are really having a moment right now. Good for them.
Stone fucking Top. I can't. Oh, I love it. Also in the Greater Lez universe, I just thought that this TikTok was so fucking funny, so I wanted to share it with you. Have you seen this TikTok, Lee?
I have not, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Okay, so there's this TikTok from a person named Samalema Ding Dong, which great TikTok handle. And it says, every time somebody asks how her sister's a lesbian and has kids, and they're like, oh, well, how did your sister ever make those babies? They're both girls. And so she said, here's how lesbians make babies that you didn't know. They're listening to The Balls and the Beautiful playing in the background, holding hands and reciting the words to Born This Way directly to each other, rewatching RuPaul's All Stars and arguing about which All Star is the best. Then you light a candle with Sappho's face on it And if you're visited by the ghosts of Tegan and Sarah, who are very much alive, you will get pregnant.
I like the editorializing of they're still alive. That's how Kelsey and I did it. Yeah.
That's so I feel like it's
Works
it's a great
100% of the time.
It's a great video because it's helping to educate the masses, and also like that was supposed to be a secret. And so
that's in the agenda. Keep it to ourselves.
Keep that to yourselves, lesbians.
Yeah, we don't want the straights knowing.
Don't let them know that's how we've been making babies all these years. Turkey baster, my ass.
In other news, the holidays are coming up, and you know that we are always on the search for the gayest holiday movies. There's 2 of them coming up that we're pretty excited about. One of them is Tello's got another Christmas movie coming out this year called The Holiday Club. And then obviously we are super excited for Last Xmas, which is the new movie by Gay Women's Channel. So has this episode come out by now? No. After this?
This episode is coming. This is the episode.
Oh, this is the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it and
Yeah.
I'm not seeing
Yeah.
it. Okay. So you can hear us talk a little bit more to Sarah and Adriana in this episode about what's coming up with that movie. We can't wait, and I believe you can pre-order it now. So if you haven't already, get those pre-orders in, because I'm sure we're going to be breaking that movie down in no time. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 136th installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, we're ready to run.
There's so many songs you could have done with Run.
Oh my god, this was such a there were so many good choices.
I
was
actually hate this song. We sing it constantly at weddings, but
Oh, I'm sure.
Born to Run. I can't even sing it because it literally drives me nuts. But but she's Born to Run.
Listen, the song has a boppin' soundtrack. And here to help us break it down and discuss all of it, we have some very exciting guests, return guests, friends of the pod.
Lee's favorite thing to say.
My favorite thing to say. We are joined by Adriana DiLeonardo and Sarah Rotella. You know them from the award-nominated Gay Women channel on YouTube. You know them from their debut film, Almost Adults. You know them from their second feature film, Nobody Famous. And you're about to know them from their latest feature film, Last Xmas, a holiday lesbian rom-com coming out December 3rd. Oh my gosh, you two. Welcome back.
Wow, that was a good intro.
Yeah,
thank
you guys for having us. We're excited to be back and to talk about a movie very close to our hearts.
Yes.
Is it really? This is going to be so fun then.
Adriana loves romantic comedies, especially Julia Roberts.
I was so obsessed with Julia Roberts growing up. Like, I mean, you watch the movie. She's so hot in it. It's unbelievable.
The overalls, like,
Come on.
You know what else is hard? Because I know we have a number of younger listeners at this point, and like, there's no way to explain the chokehold that she had on the 90s. Like, you can't.
She was the 90s.
You can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in everything. Every movie.
Yeah.
Every movie was a Julia Roberts movie.
As it should.
I wish we had, like, even though Julia Roberts now is still extremely hot, but if we had her now and she, like, played, like, an actual gay role, like, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I would die. Maybe now, like, she can play a period piece lesbian. Yeah. Julia Roberts in a lesbian drama. Please make my baby gay heart happy.
It's basically
Julia Roberts dying of consumption in 48 layers of petticoats and
riding
dreaming
away
about
on
her
a
lover.
horse, though. Like,
So
is
true.
that not this film?
Lit by candlelight.
Amazing. Also, like, we will get into it more, but like, also this, like, the style of rom-com that existed. Like, when
I'm not ready, Ellie.
When I was watching this today, I was like, oh God, this is so, like, nostalgic and, like, in comedic in such a specific way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
they love a story where it's like, oh, well, she's supposed to be with this man and he's horrible. And then there's another man that's, like, sort of still horrible, but she should be with him instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Okay,
yes,
listen.
yes,
I
this
need
is right.
to do our IMDb synopsis just
I
so
know,
that we
I know.
can get
Sorry.
to our gay
Yes, yes,
synopses
yes. Yes, please go.
because you're stealing my whole thunder.
I know,
Ellie.
I'm sorry, but it was so funny.
Okay, the IMDb synopsis for the 1999 hit film Runaway Bride is as follows. For his latest column in USA Today, Ike Graham writes about Maggie, who always leaves all her fiancés standing at the altar. He is fired as she complains to the newspaper for inaccuracies in her story. I swear to God, that's the IMDb synopsis of the movie.
That's a terrible synopsis.
That he's fired. That's all that matters.
Of the movie. Here is a man, he gets fired because of this she-harpy.
That's not even, you don't even need to know he gets fired. It's not even an important plot point.
It's not, no. That's so
Not
funny.
Justice for the white man. So, listen,
Justice
Sarah,
for Richard fucking Gears.
Adriana, do you have like a combined gay synopsis, or did you each write your own? Because either is possible.
I mean, we can
do a combined gay synopsis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hit us with your gay synopsis.
Like a Mad Libs gay synopsis.
So it's a flannel-wearing lesbian who has no idea that she's a lesbian, but keeps running away from men at the altar, never realizes that she's a lesbian.
Until the New York City journalist, sexy lesbian, comes to town to interview her to write this column about why she's running away from all of these men. And she realizes that she is queer after falling in love with the journalist.
Well, that's what should have happened.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about
for
we'll talk
sure.
about how Ike should have
For
been
sure.
a woman.
And I'm like, Ike, dyke, there's a lot.
It's so close.
There's a lot
They
in
were
this
so
movie.
close. They were so close.
Like the
damn
list
it.
Ellie-
of gay things, especially in the 90s, it's such a long list. We can go through it at some
We
point.
will. We're going to go through it.
Yeah. It's a great one. It's a great one.
Ellie,
All right.
what's your gay synopsis?
Okay, so here's my gay synopsis. In this movie about the epitome of avoidant attachment styles, which we all know attachment styles gay, this deeply, deeply closeted woman who is in love with her best friend but cannot have her decides to beard up as much as she can until the ultimate decision to commit to that beard is made and she must run away. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's dead on.
Until I agree, she meets a lesbian who's like, let's talk through your avoidant attachment style and see why.
Yeah.
Why are you running away from love, huh?
She's like, what's your zodiac? That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you let me see you.
Yeah.
I finally see you for who you are. It's a big lesbian. It's such a gay movie.
I know.
All right, Lee, what did you see?
Okay, here's my gay synopsis for the movie. I said nothing comes close to a 90s movie ability to gaslight straight women into the most toxic relationships, or to gaslight renowned small town lesbian Maggie Carpenter into thinking she's in love with any man.
Literally any man.
Literally any man.
Any. Pick a man.
Any man.
Pick a man.
Pick a man
Her
in that
best friend-
small town.
What did her best friend say to her? Like, it was like literally any man that moves.
Yeah. Male and move.
Yeah. That's like her only criteria.
Yeah. And she doesn't have
God.
a type because men are not her type.
Correct.
She dates
Exactly.
just a variety of personalities and different guys.
It's so much. So let's discuss our experience. So you were saying this is one of your favorite movies. So what's your experience with Runaway Bride?
So for me, I watched it like when it came out. I was a huge Julia Roberts fan. I loved rom-coms growing up, mostly just because I was a closeted queer little girl and I just wanted to see really pretty girls like on screen. So, you know, the Sandra Bullocks.
You're like, I was looking for ideas.
Exactly.
Tips,
I was just
tips
like,
and
Yeah, you were
tricks.
like, so how do I get
how do
her?
I get her? And I'm like, oh, you're just a super toxic person. And then the women just love you. Like that's mostly what those movies in the 90s were. So yeah, so watched all of her movies growing up. And I loved Runaway Bride. And then I feel like I showed Sarah it more recently, like within the past like 5 or 6 years, because Sarah wasn't like super
It must
into...
have been a COVID movie,
Probably.
like a pandemic locked inside situation. Because I never watched it growing up. I feel like, I just wasn't interested really in romantic comedies. And I think as like a young lesbian, you know, not seeing those kinds of stories, like I just didn't want to watch straight people, you know, even though, you know, Julia Roberts is gorgeous.
And very gay in this movie,
It's
but
so
continue.
gay. No, but, you know, like, we need, like, queer representation in all kinds of genres because it's really important, too, for, like, young queer people to see, like, romantic comedies with 2 women, 2 men. So I just wasn't really interested in it growing up. And then we watched it recently, and I was like, it's a really good rom-com for that kind of formula of, like, a 90s rom-com. It's, like, entertaining. Julia Roberts is incredible in it, like, as an actor. She's so watchable and great. But, yeah, we watched it recently. And
then we did watch it again last night.
And just
You have to prepare.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just laughable how gay it is. Like, I don't understand. Like, there are gay people in the 90s, right? Like, just make it gay. Make her gay.
It was actually so comical. Lee, what was your experience with Runaway Bride?
Okay, my experience is, I know I watched it like in, I don't know, high school or something. Like, I don't think I'd seen it since probably, you know, a few years after it came out or something. I rewatched it last night, and God, this style of movie, I'm like, no wonder our like millennial women are so fucked. No wonder we're so fucked. I'm like, I felt like I had PTSD watching this movie. It's just my wife and I sitting on the couch for like the last 30 minutes of the movie. Every time Ike opens his mouth, we're just like, no, sir, no. No, what is happening? We're like, this is gross and I hate it. I hate everything going on right now. Honestly, Mary Bob, whatever. Who the fuck cares? This is awful. No one told us, right? Like, no one told us when we were watching these movies that you're like, this is bad and gross and toxic and nothing should look like this in your life in any relationship ever, you know, like for any reason. And then instead you're just like, yeah, this man who negs me and is awful, that's who I love. And you're like, oh God, this explains a lot, actually. So, listen.
Yeah, no, I mean, but the funny thing is, I'm like, I was also watching it and I was like, but he does see her.
No,
Fuck.
no, Ellie, no.
I know, I'm just kidding. No, I was laughing about it because I was like, he's like, I see you. And I'm like, I was so confused. I was like, what does he see? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I wish there was more like exposition here of like, I actually have no clue who Julia Roberts' character is supposed to be. Like, that's the funniest thing about like watching these rom-coms is like, he's like, I see you for who you truly are, which is you make lamps. Like nobody else, like nobody else knows you make a lamp.
I can tell you don't know what kind of eggs you like.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know what
Exactly.
eggs you like either because I don't fucking know you. But
Yes, but that's my whole point.
And wait,
is
doesn't
like,
she finally tell him that she likes Eggs Benedict right before she
Yes.
proposes to him at the end?
yeah.
yes, and I hate
Oh
it.
my
I hate it so much. Oh, it's so bad.
mean, I think in general it's a good message, except for the fact that she marries this man, Ike, because it is like, oh, that's why we need to make it gay. So maybe let's just dive into that. But because it is like she's with all these men and she doesn't know who she is. Because she's like, there's no way I can possibly be myself with these men because I'm so fucking gay. Like, let me just like be whoever they want me to be. Right?
That's exactly, yeah.
But then why? Then I feel like she just has the same thing with Ike at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, there's literally nothing different about Ike than the rest of the men that she's with, except Ike is a terrible person and he's very mean to her. I love in the scene when
He stalks and humiliates her.
and
Yeah.
then
It infiltrates her life.
yeah, he writes an article about her.
Manipulates her family.
He writes an article about her that is like mostly fabricated in the USA Today, like with millions of readers. And then I love in the scene where they're having the luau and like all the family is like making fun of her. And he's
For
like, I'm
running away.
standing up for you. And I'm like, you literally wrote a horrible article about her and you've been mean the whole time. Yeah. And now what? You're just like ripping on her family? What is this?
No one's allowed to make fun of her for ending all of her marriages,
Except
but
for
him.
me.
Because
Okay.
he knows her.
God. because he can see that nobody knows what kind of eggs she likes, him included.
And I like it, the luau moment also. Isn't he talking about like what he would do? He would take her to a beach.
No, he's like, you want this. You want to be on a beach.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you don't know. This is what you want.
Still, all
And
of
she
these
never
men are
said
just
that.
like,
She never said anything about the beach in her entire film.
Exactly. If she said like, I don't want to climb Annapurna. I want to be on a beach somewhere. And then he said, then that makes sense. But I'm like, no, that's what you want, Ike.
Yeah.
You're literally the men you were trying to take her away from. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
It
It's
doesn't
not
make
like he
any
saw her
sense.
holding like a shell one time longingly, and then he was like, I have extrapolated from seeing you do a thing when no one was looking. No, he's just like, I'll tell you who you are.
She doesn't.
All the other men who tried to were wrong, but not I.
She doesn't make kitschy shell lamps.
Yeah.
No, she makes butchy, like
fucking
industrial
hardware lamps.
Can we talk about all
Yes.
of the jobs she could have with her like skills in this movie? Because like she's an electrician, she's a mechanic. Like, what is she? She fixes the salon chair. I don't know, handyman, general handyman.
She works
Yeah.
at the hardware store.
Yes.
How many tool belts do you think she owns?
We were watching it.
She
and I was-
studied industrial
Design.
design or something.
Yes. I was like, Maggie is strapping it on, right? Like,
Yes.
God.
Yes.
For
You
sure.
mean the tool belts?
Tool
right?
belts.
The two belt.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she has many tool belts,
Many a
different
belt,
sizes.
on that dyke. Anyways,
The outfits
what are you trying to
that-
say, Ellie?
The outfits that freaking woman wears. The
Oh,
first
it's
time
a
we
lot.
see her, she's in full flannel. She's
Full-
constantly
I
in
just
flannel.
constantly
Guys,
her
I'm wearing flannel right now in honor of Maggie.
and
In honor. I
remember
love it,
this.
yes.
This was in 1999 when only lesbians were wearing flannel.
yeah, it's not
like
the
now,
fashion.
lots of people wear flannel because we are trendsetters and people
Yes.
started copying us.
Yes.
But then lesbians only. And like, did you see her boots?
She honestly goes from flannel to wedding dress. Those are the two outfits.
Those are the two. She literally, but when on her wedding day, she's like, I can't get married in flannel.
Yes, oh, God.
You can,
listen,
girl.
Listen.
You can.
Okay. Wait. I need to correct one thing because there's been a misrepresentation of Maggie Carpenter. The first time we see Maggie, she is not wearing a flannel. The first time we see Maggie, she is on a horse running away.
Oh, you're right.
At full speed from a man. The second time we see Maggie, she is in a flannel excoriating a man via typewriter. Okay? The third time we see Maggie, she's flirting with her best friend. And then she dyes a man's hair full rainbow.
Yes.
Okay? I just want to clarify the order.
Yes. When
In
we're
the movie,
Sorry,
for
while we're
us.
talking about those events, can we discuss that flirtation scene?
Yes,
I wrote down
please.
what they said.
How has Joan Cusack never played gay in anything?
Has she
also?
not?
A travesty.
I feel like the lesbian.
Collective
I
pause.
can think of like lesbians that love her in Adam's Family Values.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I mean,
Adam's Family
gay
Values.
icon.
I feel like
Yes.
lesbians just love Joan Cusack in general. I think just because she just kind of seems like a lesbian. I don't know.
gives lesbian
lesbian
vibes.
energy. Yeah.
She said to her, so she fixes her chair, right? And she says, I forget exactly what she says before this, but she says, when you talk like that, it turns me on and frightens me.
Yeah.
When she was saying basically, she's like, yeah, I fixed your chair with like the carburetor and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what she's saying. I don't clearly,
Yeah, the carburetor
I
of your
clearly know that a
salon
carburetor
chair.
for a car, I think.
Ellie is also a handy dyke,
Real
everyone.
handy. She's like the lug nuts. I don't know. But she fixed the chair and she said it turned her on.
Oh my god.
So it's not subtext.
No.
That's canon.
It's text.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
It is text. And did anyone notice this? When they're in the salon, okay, they introduce everyone in the salon. And she's like, there's this one woman there. And she's like, I'm Cindy, Maggie's unmarried cousin.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Did you clock that?
yes.
Yes.
With her tie? Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. I know. We were like, that's a lesbian.
Mhm.
But she also said it in such a way that was like, I am a 90s code word.
Lesbian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, where did this woman come from?
She's full like, I'm her unmarried cousin, and this is my roommate, Nancy.
Literally.
Yeah, and they're like, and the straight women will just think she said that to flirt with Ike.
Yeah. But all the lesbians know that that's code for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also in the series of events that you were just laying out, Lee, like there's a section of lesbian called like horse lesbians, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Correct.
Maggie is also one of them.
Okay, like no straight woman can ride a horse the way Maggie rode that
In
horse.
a dress?
In a dress.
In a dress.
Yeah.
Come on.
That was
Impossible.
some lesbian riding horse. Like, I don't know.
And then her apartment, sorry, now, my brain is just gonna, there's too many things. Her apartment is also like a tool shed. Like, doesn't she have like a tool studio in her apartment?
Yeah, it's also
Yes.
a very dykey apartment.
Oh, and she has like a boxing bag.
A punching bag.
A punching bag.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
like boxing in her apartment
Yeah.
with that ponytail that can only be a gay ponytail.
Well, listen, here's the thing. Imagine you're a small town rural dyke in the late 90s, right?
I'm
Maggie,
there.
yeah.
I'm
And-
there.
Yeah.
And you just we're all gonna put on our thinking caps, okay? Our imagination hats. So imagine that's your life, right? And you have skated by comfortably with failed beard relationship after failed beard relationship, right? And everyone's just like, oh, what a kooky straight gal. And then this fucking big city journalist comes sauntering out to be like, here's a big spotlight on you and how you never actually marry any of these men. And like, wouldn't you kick a punching bag once or twice? You know? Wouldn't you have some anger?
Because you're like,
to
God
vent?
damn it, why is this man trying to out me?
Yes. Like, can you imagine? That must be so just like, what do you do? What do you do? Right? What do? You try to marry a PE teacher. What do you do then? I don't know.
Also, yeah, like marrying a gym teacher, gay.
So gay.
So gay.
So gay.
But you know what? Sorry, I do need to take one aside to say, as much as this movie itself made me like violently angry, it was such a weird experience because the movie filled me with rage from a plot perspective. This movie filled me with like unparalleled joy from a cast perspective. This is like a who's who fucking movie. Like every cutscene, every camera turn, I was like, oh my God, who isn't in this movie? Like everyone's in it. Like, you know, Fisher shows up and you're like, oh my God, Hector Elizondo's in this movie. And then like Detective Stabler's in this movie. And like everyone is in this movie. Like who's the guy, who's the bartender?
Oh yeah.
And he's like the dad
guy
from
he's the guy from Princess Diaries. He's the hairdresser, isn't he?
Yeah. He's the guy in Princess Diaries, and he's also the dad in
10 Things I Hate About
You. And like, I mean, it's a classic cast. And I was like, it was filling me with such joy, and then also making me want to, you know, kick a punching bag. So
I do get joy when we just watched it last night. I was just trying to picture it as a lesbian rom-com.
Like if you just replaced Ike and made it a woman, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
And then she still can date all those men and leave
zhuzhed
those
up
men.
his character a little bit.
Yeah, like a woman would never be that toxic.
A woman should rewrite his character, even though this script was written by two women.
Which is surprising.
That's so
Was
funny.
it really?
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
Directed
I
by
hate that.
Gary Marshall, but Penny Marshall
but written by two women.
is his sister. So I'm like, Gary
Yikes.
probably asked
Wait,
Penny.
Penny Marshall wrote it?
No.
No. I'm just saying, like, Gary
No.
Marshall
Oh.
has that. You know, Penny Marshall is also a
Josanne
director.
McGibbon and Sarah Perriott.
Mhm.
And all I have to say is, ladies, who hurt you?
But here's the thing, it was the end of the 90s. This was the formula.
It was.
They
I
wrote the
know.
formula.
Every
They wrote it.
90s rom-com is like that. Like and we were talking about this too, Sarah and I, that like the female characters and actors have to be so good in all of these rom-coms, and the men just have to be fine.
They're just Ken.
They're just Ken, right? And the females have to be this incredible Barbie. Like they have to be funny, they have to be smart, they have to be pretty, they have to be charismatic, they have to be all these things to get just the most average, below average man. And we're like, because like Julia Roberts is incredible in this, and we're like, and then it's like Richard Gere, who's just the worst.
She gives everything.
She gives everything.
And that is why it works.
Julia Roberts she could get Rita Wilson in this.
That's who she should have ended up with, the ex-wife.
Yes. I know I was reading some serious gay vibes from Rita Wilson because her husband seems so gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Don't go for
That's
Ike.
a situationship.
Yeah, Ike got fired by Rita Wilson. Go straight to the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you imagine Rita Wilson is the one who actually goes into
Oh my
the
God,
town
you
to
guys.
uncover the truth?
She fires Ike. She fires Ike and she's like, I have to write this column
Because I
myself.
have to fix this.
I want it so badly. Oh no.
Wait, it's actually so much better.
So much better.
She's like, I'm so sorry that my ex-husband misrepresented you. I'm here to tell the real story.
Well, and then
Incredible.
because listen,
Incredible.
Here's how it works better too. Because instead of having Ike, who drives down and like rolls into town, dick a swingin', just being like, "This is my town now," right? And being the absolute fucking worst man on earth. Now you have instead the boss who fired him, who's like, "Hey, I believe in you, girl. Yeah, let's see. Tell me all the reasons you love Bob. Yeah, Bob's taking you to Annapurna. Sounds great. I love a nice hike, right? Like, that sounds, tell me how this is going to be like the best. This is the one that's going to stick." And like, she's rooting for her and she's there with support. But then like, they're just having a lot of long heart-to-heart conversations, you know, and they're like, they're doing interviews late into the night and like a bottle of wine is there. I don't know. It's just
because she's actually there to get to know her, whereas Ike was there to prove that he was right.
Yes. He's like, I'm going to stay here till you run away again.
Yes. I'm going to stay here till you ruin your life again. And I really want to see it.
She's a fucking bridesmaid in the wedding is the new plan, right? She's like, I'm here for you. I support this wedding 100%, but like she's falling for her, and then Maggie's fallen because she's like, someone's finally actually seeing me for me. Oh my God. Stop. Who do we pay?
The only way also that one scene at the end works when they're like rehearsing Maggie's wedding with Bob, and Bob is like, Ike, you be the groom. And like Ike and Maggie look into each other's eyes.
Maintain eye contact.
And have this romantic moment in the 90s would be as if it's a woman, and Bob would be like, well, it's not romantic. They're two women.
Exactly. Because that scene freaked me. I was like, what the fuck?
It made no sense whatsoever. It made no sense.
I was like, in no world is this like appropriate.
No, and they're not so in love that they forget the rest of the people are there. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Also, but can we talk about one important thing? Because I will say this is possibly my only redeeming thing I will say about Ike this entire episode. What a fucking lesbian that man is. To be like, sorry, we kissed once at the rehearsal for your wedding in
Marry me in 2
days.
days.
Marry me instead. And I'm like, that's a fucking lesbian move. Right there, you absolute
You guys,
psychopath.
we wrote down lesbian speed U-hauling, okay? That's one of our notes.
Yes.
One kiss and they're getting married.
Yeah. They're in love. They're in love.
It's so insane.
To be fair, that's the thing. Both of them are lesbian in that moment.
Yeah,
because
both of them. Yeah.
He kisses her and he's like, how long has this been happening? And Julia Roberts is like, 1 minute. And
then the next second he's like, let's get married. And she's like, I'm in. And you're like, oh, you absolute morons.
And what did she say too? She says like, at least it was 2 days before the wedding. I'm improving.
Yeah. It's gross.
Do you know who there is one character in the movie who I think picks up also the fact that Maggie's gay. Somebody gets there, and it's Grandma. Grandma is like, you do not like men because you do not want to have sex with men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's like, you're scared of the one-eyed snake.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're gonna take a quick break and then come back and talk more about Grammy and the one-eyed snake. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/Lez Hang Out today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Lez Hang Out.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Tell me all about how Grammy's gay, please. I'm begging.
I don't think Grandma's gay. I think she just senses it. She knows what's up. She doesn't want to tell her. You have to figure out you're gay on your own, right?
Wait, you don't think Grammy and her who's the little old lady?
Yeah, she's like, Nancy,
friend?
plug your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's her name? I think Grammy's getting down with I don't know her name.
I thought her name was
Neda?
maybe I thought it was no, maybe it's not.
In the gay version, yeah, they are gay. together. Maggie has 2 grandmas.
Because she even like Grammy's talking about it and she's still not into it, right? And she's like, listen up, girlfriend. Like, don't listen. You don't want to hear about this any more than I want to be talking about it, you know? But, like, there's a penis and then there are pants. Like, I think Grammy and her friend have something going on.
And because Grandma is gay, she's like, I see what's going on here with you and Joan Cusack.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, okay, let's talk a little bit about Peggy is her name, right?
Yes, Peggy.
Is that Joan Cusack?
Yeah, Joan Cusack's character.
Okay, yeah.
Because, I mean, they flirt already, right? But, like, I feel like there's way more intimate conversations between the two of them than there is with her and Ike.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, you know, they grew up together and it's just like, again, it's that small town. You probably don't even know what a lesbian is. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm just in love with my best friend. And men are the worst because that's what they're supposed to be. And, like, if they grew up in New York City in 2015, they would have been together.
Yes. It's so classic to be like, oh, we're best friends. We've been best friends forever. Oh, my husband, yes, she dated him in high school, but like it was never really that serious, you know? And now I'm just married to him and I know they flirt together, but I'm not really worried about it. And you're like, Peggy.
Yeah.
She does get so upset.
I feel like
she's very upset.
She's jealous, right? That Maggie is flirting with the husband and not. Yeah, exactly.
She's jealous on whose behalf, though?
Yeah, so why doesn't she flirt with me like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like she gets mad and storms off, but then she has a whole thing with Maggie where she's like, I'm not worried about you and Corey. Like,
so then you're like, what were you mad about then?
Yeah, she's like, she's not concerned that Maggie's going to steal her husband. She just doesn't like watching Maggie flirt with him for no other reason that gets explained in this movie.
I feel like she's trying to say, I'm just upset because you are a lesbian. Like, I feel like she basically says, like, I'm upset because you flirt with every man that moves, is basically what she says.
That whole conversation is such a whole lot too, right? Because this is the conversation that needs to happen between Maggie and any woman anywhere that sees Maggie, right? Because this is a real conversation about someone being like, here's a thing that I've noticed just from watching and observing you, and like being a person who sees you and cares about you, a way that Ike never really gets to in this movie, right? Peggy manages to clear that bar. Ike.
It's very lesbian processing to me. She literally says, like, Julia Roberts is like, I know I'm messed up, but like, I still love you. To Peggy.
Yeah. Julia Roberts says that after breaking into her salon and waiting for her in the dark, despondently sitting in a chair.
And Peggy also, I wrote all this down because I was like, this is crazy, actually. I was like, what is this scene? Like, why is this scene even in this movie?
Yeah. Why even have that? Why even have any of that?
It was so much processing, right? It was so much lesbian processing.
Yeah.
She's like, I just think you're charming and mysterious. And she's like, and I'm weird. And she's like, you're not weird. And she's like, no, you're quirky. I'm weird. And I'm like, what is happening here? Like, it's very like, but like, you're perfect. And like, I'm just a freak.
No, you're not perfect. You're hot. Like, that's what's happening in this conversation.
Like, what? What is going on between these two? I need to know.
I'm weird and quirky. You're hot and beautiful. Anyways. Anyways, stop flirting with my husband. Stay in my salon. What?
That is like every closeted like teenage girl saying that to their like their hot best friend.
I swear I straight up have had that conversation before, like word for word.
Peggy keeps like breaking her salon chair. Maggie's got to go in on the floor, fixing it every day.
Maggie has 15 tool belts. Peggy has one tool. It's a hammer. She hits her chair with it every other week. Just keep Maggie rolling on it.
Why does this keep
breaking? She's like, I got one sledgehammer and a dream, okay? Yeah. This is
And then they like work across the street from each other, right? So Peggy goes over at night once they're closing up shop and she's like, do you want to get a drink? Very date vibes.
I feel like such a thing about a 90s rom-com as well is like they make the female friendships like so central. Like they build the female friendships far better than they build any sort of like chemistry between the women and men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I also just say, now that you're pointing out they work across the street from each other, there is no more lesbian move than opening a hair salon across the street from your best friend's hardware shop and calling it curl up and die. Sorry, but that's like some fucking fighting shit. Peggy's an angsty dyke, okay?
Oh my god.
This is actually a period piece.
It's also like pretty gay to marry your like best friend who you're in love with, her ex, to be like, that's as close to you that I can
That's
get.
the 90s move. That's the 90s move. That's it. That's what you do. It's the brother or the ex.
And that's
it.
Yeah.
And for them to not
God.
be jealous of each other because of it is also a gay move.
yeah, because you're like, we don't care, we don't like him.
Exactly. We hate
We
him.
hate him.
It's not about him.
Who cares? Who cares about him? Let's talk about
They're
us.
just going to watch his baseball game
Just so
that
they can hang out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's more mad that she got up out of the chair and is not spending time with her.
And then Peggy leaves, and then Maggie is upset that Peggy left. She yells at Ike. She's like, what did you do?
What you do to my girlfriend?
Yeah, and Peggy leaves because she's like, I'm not there to watch my husband. I don't care about
He's probably
this game.
hitting a home run as she's walking away.
She's like, Maggie's not here anymore. I'm out.
She's like, I just wanted to watch Maggie walk around in those pants and that
hat.
And
Yeah,
now Ike's,
exactly.
now Ike's staring at her and it's ruining everything for me, right? Like, no one wants this.
Dead.
I don't need to watch this silver-haired man stare at my girlfriend.
And this poor Peggy has had to watch all of these men and Maggie will just pick any man instead of Peggy.
Yeah. But I also feel like Peggy's she's got a real move worked out where she's just like, please just marry somebody local and stay here for me. Right?
Yes.
She's like, don't move to be a big hardware lamp lesbian in the city. Stay here.
Yeah, it's very Dickinson.
She was like, please marry the priest.
Yeah, marry the priest. We know you'll never have sex and you'll stay here forever.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about like the choices in men, right? Because this will be her fourth wedding, correct?
Yes.
Right? So it's like,
yes.
The first one was the priest?
The first one was the
first
rock
one was Gil.
star. Yeah.
Okay, Gil.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this deadhead man, right?
I also love the idea that someone who was into tattoos saw a stick-on tattoo.
Had no idea.
And thought it was a real tattoo.
That's how
he
didn't see her. Lee. Yeah, Lee. Come on.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry,
Not only
everyone.
did he not
I've let
see
you
her,
down.
He didn't even really look at her.
He didn't look at her.
Also, he probably didn't get to
no
look.
clue what she looks like.
And he didn't look at it that closely, probably, because she is like, I do not want to be intimate with you, man.
Yeah, exactly. It was.
She's
supposed to
like,
be
let's
what, on her
wait to
back?
have
On her
sex,
back, yeah.
like when we're married.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was saving herself.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah. On all of them, probably.
So husband number 1 was Gil. Husband number 2 was the priest.
Yes.
Which
priest.
honestly, that's a missed opportunity for a perfect beard. That's the A+.
That's
beard.
exactly who every closeted lesbian wants to marry is a closeted priest.
Yeah, or
that's why the Catholic Church exists.
Exactly. You either become a nun or you marry.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And then the third one was that drunk man in the bar, right?
Yeah, the weird bug dude. Which honestly, not her highest film, that one.
No.
Not her best.
Not her best. But I would like to say she has a very gay thing where she's still friends with her exes.
We said that too. We were like, that's the most lesbian thing as well. Being very good friends with all of your exes. Yeah.
Where she actually left them at the altar and somehow they still forgave her.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh. He's like, you can't come here, not even Catholic. And she's like, I need to process with you, Brian. Like, and then when she goes to Gil, he's like happy that she's there. Like, there's no like, get out of my shop. You ruined my life.
Yeah. It's because they all know she's gay. That's why they're like, it's not your fault.
The whole town knows.
Yeah, the whole town knows.
She's the only
The
one
whole town knows.
in the whole movie that doesn't know.
The other thing I do have to say, though, does it feel like there's something very gay about how much all these men love her? Because maybe this is just me, but do straight men just love you? Like, straight men love me. Like, they just want to hang out. And they're like, right? They're like, oh my God, yeah, like, we have so much in common. And I'm like, do we? Do we?
Well, isn't it like so like the whole point of When Harry Met Sally too is like, can men and women be friends without sex getting in the way? So all of, Maggie and all of her exes can be friends because she's a lesbian and they know sex can't get in the way. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, none of them would be friends with her if they all just wanted to sleep with her. Right?
Well, and that's because sometimes, no, honestly, because that's a big part of my theory. Because sometimes I feel like straight men love lesbians because we are a safe woman that they can be friends with. Mm-hmm. Right? And like, there is still, I think, this lingering thing all the time where it's like hard for straight guys, especially if they're like in a relationship, to have like close platonic friendships with like women. Right? And sometimes I feel like straight dudes will be like, but you're not a threat. Hooray! You're kind of like a bro who's a woman. And I'm like, I don't know if that's entirely correct. But we can roll with that if that's what you need, right? Like, and that's what I feel like. Like, all of these men are just like, oh yeah, Maggie! And she likes her eggs just like I like my eggs. And you're like, I don't think that she does, but it's fine.
I think
it's okay.
I think I agree with you, Lee. But I also feel like I have that, but as a femme-presenting lesbian, there's way more shit that I feel like men also are like, I wish my girlfriend was just like you.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't though. Because that means your girlfriend will not fuck you.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's all of the above. Where there's like this, I do think straight men have a thing for lesbians. Whatever that means.
We were recently at a film festival, and there were a bunch of lesbians sitting at a table, and this straight guy comes over. He's flirting with everyone, and he's like also making all of the lesbians very uncomfortable. And then he's like talking to one of our friends, and he's just like, I don't like, because she's like, we're all gay here, like we're not interested. And he's like, oh, I don't care who's gay, I'll kiss anyone. And we're like, yeah, but we don't want to kiss you. You're like, that's not.
You were at a gay bar, sir. Go kiss a man. That is who you're here to kiss.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think there is something there in the should have been gay of it all. That these straight men, like, they can wrap their heads around it better because they're like, she's a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's why I feel like it's also very gay that at the end, she gets so excited. I'm ignoring the Ike of it all. She gets very excited to be the one proposing, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I wanted to get down on one knee, and I wanted to give the big heartfelt speech, and I'm like, girl, you just want to propose
It's so
to
gay.
a
It's so
woman.
gay.
Is she in
That's what's been
flannel?
the problem here.
No, she wears it.
No,
They put
she's
her
in a
a very.
turtleneck.
It's the most feminine she is in the
She's
entire
ever looked.
movie.
Yeah.
Besides for when she's in her wedding dresses, but yeah.
It's
She
it's
got
a
boots
turtleneck,
on, though,
and you
right?
can like just barely make out the bra underneath
Correct. And her
it.
hair is
Yeah.
like straight because it's curly the whole time.
Yes.
Her hair is straight. She has the most. She also like has she's obviously wearing makeup because it's a movie, but like it's like she looks like she's not wearing any makeup. The no makeup. But then in that scene, like, she's wearing makeup. She has like earrings, like
Yeah.
I think
They
it's to
give
be
her
like
the full 90s
we can't
glow
make it
up.
look like a
Like-
lesbian is proposing to a man.
Yeah.
This is a woman. This is
We
a
can't-
straight woman.
We can't have her
swear.
roll up in her flannel cuffed jeans and boots.
She can't
like
be
that's not
butching
gonna
up
fly.
this
No,
scene.
with Richard Gere, who has no facial hair and a haircut that I've definitely seen on many lesbians.
Oh, he could pass as a lesbian, like an older lesbian for sure.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, before we sort of like dive into which characters are we shipping, I feel like let's just talk super briefly about like what this movie could have been like if Ike was actually a woman.
The best movie of all time, first of all, if Ike was a woman.
I do like our idea, though, keeping him a man.
Keeping him a man, having Rita
and,
Wilson.
and replacing him with a different character. But
Because I do feel like the woman could not have written that scathing. Like, the whole point is like if anyone wrote that shit about her, it's really hard to come back from that.
Yeah. And what's the deal with,
especially in like 2 weeks, right? I mean, what's the time frame
and the
of
whole
this
thing
movie?
was that he's a big misogynist. It's like he's like definitively they're like, you hate women in the beginning of the movie.
Correct. Yeah.
So it'd be like very hard for it to be like, this is a lesbian who hates women.
He doesn't change though. All he does is fall in love with Maggie. He doesn't write an article then being like, hey, women, sorry I was such an asshole all the time. None of that.
Yeah.
She just leaves him at the altar and then she's got to go, what? Apologize to him? Like...
I also think that it's so, this is why the 90s rom-coms for me are so hard, because there's something so cute about a movie being like, oh yeah, this man who's like, someone pointed out, I might hate women, but I don't hate women. They're just all stereotypes and they suck, right? The guy who goes from that article to being like, I'm the only one who really sees you in 2 weeks. I'm like, my guy, I'm so sorry to break it to you.
He just called her a man-eating harpy 2 weeks ago.
Yes. I'm like, you are doing absolutely nothing other than trying to be like, I've got my binder of women here with me. Which tab do you fit under, right? Yeah. And he's like, aha, I've found it. It's one I'd like to fuck. And you're like, no. I hate this so badly.
And Maggie's actually the character who sees Ike. Because doesn't she say to him in the movie that she has read all his columns?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, but I talked to your fiance once, and therefore I know everything about you, because he doesn't know you, but through talking about you to him, I've learned about you.
While he was drunk and venting at the bar.
No, but that's the thing too, is like, it takes place over 2 weeks or whatever, but the full first week where he gets to know Maggie, he actually doesn't know her. He talks to everyone else and gets their opinions on her. And that's when she's like ripping all those things off the wall of his place.
Yes.
Right? So I'm like, he doesn't know her at all.
No.
He also,
and that's why, honestly,
sticky note says she's not that hot.
Yes.
He's like, I better write that in my. That's worth keeping.
That sounds like all the dudes on the internet that are like, Margot Robbie is mid.
That's exactly
Okay, you're a loser.
Yes. He's literally nagging her like to himself in his hotel room.
Yeah, he's
it's
like,
so
how'd she
fucked.
get all these men? She's not hot.
I'm like, you've never dated a woman in your life.
And you know what's funny is I have to say, for me, I think that means that actually, as much as I know how he's presented in this movie, and I'm not going to say that he's got a ton going for him, I actually think Bob's not that bad.
No, Bob's fine.
They really try to make Bob seem like so over the top and insane. And I'm like, Bob is the only person who's kind of being like, hey, maybe this is just like a focus problem. Like, I can help you. Let's work together. And like, he never belittles her about it. He's not like dismissive or rude or like insulting her about it. He's just like, focus up. Here we go. Eyes on the prize. I'm going to help you visualize. You're having trouble walking? I'm going to help walk with you. And I'm like, actually, Bob, good for you. Like, did you maybe buy her like a diamond ring that's a fucking foam finger, essentially? Like, okay, sure, maybe. Like, you've got some work to do. But like, you're not the worst.
No.
You're not the worst.
No, Bob was probably the best male character.
Yeah, I think he was.
Just to tear Ike down just a little bit more. Also, I forget Rita Wilson's character name in this, but Rita Wilson is his ex-wife in the movie, and he doesn't even know why they got divorced.
Oh my God.
Yeah, also I'm like, how? Like one day she was like, here's the papers, and he was like, no questions.
Maggie's like, why did you get divorced? And he's like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm going to ask
her. Because I really know women. That's why.
And then he asks her.
No, he doesn't even think of asking her. Yeah. She has to tell him, like, you could ask her. Also, her name is Ellie, which I have to share only because I just looked it up and how good. But
I did remember that.
No, he can't even think that. He's like, can't think it through. He's like, oh, I have no idea.
I never thought about it. I just got divorced.
And we may never know. And she's like, you could ask her. And he's like, what?
That's ridiculous. Ask a woman what she's thinking, what she wants. No.
No one's ever thought of that.
It's also so funny because it's not like he never talked to her again.
They worked. I know they work together. Like, it's just
they work in the same building.
Yeah.
Like he could have at any point been like, So what happened there?
He's still a jerk to her because she like fires him, and he's like, "Oh, it's this because like you're my."
Oh my god,
ex-wife."
that scene is infuriating. Yeah, because she's like, "I'm your boss. You literally wrote an article that wasn't true. You're getting fired because of it." And he's like, "Don't work for your
Don't work
ex-wife."
with your ex-wife.
And she's like,
Yeah.
And then he like goes to her house, and her new husband is like, "I better be careful letting my wife's ex-husband come by." I'm like, I don't think you have to worry about this loser.
This man.
Oh, he's so bad.
He's terrible.
He's so bad.
Also, like when I watched it last night, I'm like, when does she actually fall in love with him? And I never know when. Like it actually happens because I'm like, he's
supposed to be
literally
at like the luau.
but he's a jerk the whole time.
Yeah, but-
so I'm like,
yeah, sure.
when does it switch for her?
I feel like
I think it's when his tongue's down her throat, and then she's like, a new
She's
man.
like, oh my god, I love you.
I feel like there was a moment though, like they try to make it in all these moments where it's like it feels like there's just an attraction between them that's undeniable, right? Because there's
No.
like
The attraction was hatred the
It
whole
was
time.
hatred the whole
He tou-
time. Yeah.
he touches her hand at one point when she shows the ring. Julia Roberts does a good job of like showing it, but the script,
Julia Roberts' face is
the
working
script
fucking
does not.
overtime.
Yeah,
the script
still.
does not.
Okay.
There's a moment when
Hope she got paid twice.
the car breaks. When the
No, she
car
got paid
breaks
half
down-
of what he got paid. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, which is so fucked up.
Ugh.
When the car breaks down and he's like lifting her over the thing, or he's like, and she's like, I forgot how to climb a fence.
That's it. That's when they
I
fell
think-
in love. Yeah.
That's when,
yeah. When
that's when they fell in
she
love.
had to
It
make
was when
him
he did
feel
a weird
better.
jig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About not
to avoid snakes.
exactly.
Doesn't she fix his car?
Yeah, she has to go fix his car.
Yes.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's so bad.
Okay, wait. I have one final point that I do need to make before we talk about ships, Ellie, and that is that I think it was you, Sarah. I think you said something. Another gross factual misinformation I have to correct. You said that the only person who clocks Maggie in this movie is Grammy, and I have one other person that I want to nominate for consideration, and that is one Peggy Fleming, and I will tell you why. Peggy has this whole thing where she's like, the geese were in the sky, 8 geese in a V, right? In a V. And I would like to remind everyone of the very important conversation that she has with Maggie after that wedding fails as well. And she's like, I thought more about the geese, Maggie. And she's like, it was a V, but you actually needed 2 V's side by side.
Together.
You just need 2
Interlocked.
V's right next to each other, touching, one might say. And it stands for wedding.
That's actually so ridiculous.
And I think that's the gayest speech I've ever heard in my entire life.
You just
okay?
need 2
It-
V's.
like rubbing gently against each other in the sky. Okay. She's trying so hard to like walk her through
Yeah,
it.
she's like, do you
in
understand?
the gentlest way.
Do you understand
She's
the
like,
2 V's
two-
coming together?
2 V's, okay? Just 2 of them.
Oh God! And then when Maggie's
Get your
like,
geese in a row, you fucking dyke. And Maggie's like, yes, Ike, I'll go find him. And you're like, no.
no. Oh my God, that's so funny. So true.
Incredible.
This movie.
That, I
my
was
God.
dying during that
That's
speech.
really
I was
funny.
like, what's happening
You're
right
like,
now?
wait,
What are
where
we
is this
doing?
going?
Is this why they don't want us to have sex ed classes anymore? Like, what are we doing here?
And then they get married at the end, just the 2 of them, and all her friends and family come running up, but Peggy's probably like, no! I'm too late.
Peggy's there bringing a horse. She's like, I brought you something.
Okay, sorry, one other honorable mention, which is just like, I don't know how this is gay, it just made me laugh. The FedEx truck.
You were like, it should have been
Yes.
a U-Haul.
Oh my God,
It
it
would
should
have
have been a U-Haul.
There's something so 90s about that line where they're like, where is she going? And Hector Elizondo gives us that great, like, I don't know, but she'll be there by tomorrow morning. And I'm like, I'm so glad we got a sudden FedEx commercial in the middle of this, like, absolute disaster of a film. Hooray.
I would have
The
loved it if there
product
was just like
placement,
if there was just like
unparalleled.
a hot woman FedEx driver. She gets in and
yes.
she's just like, oh, okay, and then they drive.
Yeah,
off into the
and that's
sunset.
it. End of movie.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
good
the
lesbian
Roll
ending.
good
credits.
ending, yeah.
Roll credits. Oh, but you sang to me. That's all you need there. You just play that song, then you're done. You're out.
Amazing.
Honestly, that'd be such a better ending.
It would be.
to that
She just,
movie
like-
if they cut it there.
Yeah. Runs into the arms
If
of a
all of a
FedEx
sudden
woman.
she's like, she's like, why am I marrying a man I've known for 2 days? What am I doing?
yeah.
Let me marry this
How did
woman
I get here?
met for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Listen, Ellie, you know me. I fucking love an enemies to lovers story. Like, that's my jam. I'm so here for it until they're straight. And then I hate it. Don't like it.
Because there's something just about straight people that they actually hate each other, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
you're
'cause
just
they
like, why
can't-
are you with
they
this man
can't
you
be-
actually hate?
They can't be catty in the way that you can do, like, a sapphic enemies to lovers. It doesn't work. It's not the same.
No, because the
They just suck
enemy
to each
literally
other.
came from like just straight up misogyny.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you can't really fix that in 2 weeks.
No.
Now he's all of a sudden loves and respects women.
Rough.
I mean,
So anyways, who are we shipping?
we didn't see it, but he just says it. But he doesn't
Yeah,
prove
so
it.
it must
be true.
So it must be.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are inspiring us to write the lesbian version of
Oh,
Runaway Bride.
Yes.
If you want to make it a musical, hit us up, okay?
Yes, please. All right. We're going to head into our ships.
Okay.
So which characters in this film are we shipping? I'll let you guys pick.
I'm shipping Maggie and Ellie.
Okay, so what's the ship name?
It's Maggie, right? Isn't it?
It's just Maggie?
Maggie and Ellie. It's Maggie.
How is it? No.
Because I'm just putting the IE back in.
Putting the IE back in. I
You
see,
got
I
there,
see.
you got
okay,
there.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like those two together too. It's like a powerhouse lesbian couple. Like they just take over New York, you know?
Mm-hmm.
With lamps.
With lamps, yeah. She would like Maggie's making the lamps, Ellie's putting them in the newspaper to sell them. Like they're just making millions of dollars.
The ship name is Maggie or Ellie.
Maggie.
Whichever.
That's it. Eggie.
Ellie, what about you?
It's Eggie, and she finally has her eggs the way she wants them.
Benedict. Eggie Benedict.
Eggie Benedict. For me, it's for sure Maggie and Peggy, which is also Peggy.
Yeah.
Damn it. Or Maggie.
What about their last
Maggie.
names? We've got
Or
it's-
Maggie.
What's her? It's Maggie Carpenter, Peggy
Fleming. Yeah.
Oh God, Fleming is a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could be
Carpeting.
Flementer.
Flementer.
What's
Those are
happening?
bad. What about you, Lee?
Okay, listen. I'm gonna ship Grammy, and I looked her name up. It is Netta. So I ship Grammy and Netta, and their ship name is #Greta.
Hot.
I love them.
I so see it.
They're roommates at the old folks' home, and nobody knows their secret.
Yeah, those two have
okay?
been secretly dating since they were children, and no
Yeah,
one
since
had any idea.
1936.
Yeah.
What's like the women equivalent of the one-eyed snake? Like what do you think Grammy would call it?
Flying
It's
geese.
just
I don't
it's
know.
the little man in a boat,
The
right?
flying geese.
The flying
Wait,
bee.
it's man in a boat?
The little man in a boat. Have you literally never heard this?
No, who says that? The little man in the boat.
Grammy.
You Google it right now and you
Grammy
tell me
would.
I'm wrong.
That's what a Grammy would say
Yeah.
to you?
I'd be like, Grandma, what are you talking about?
But
Wait,
but
that
also
is
she
insane.
said, who says one-eyed snake? Grandma.
Grandma, yeah.
Grammy does.
Grammy,
That's
yeah.
who.
The little man in the boat, that is a real thing, but I don't like that.
You're welcome.
That's okay though.
For
You're,
being
you're
full
not
of useful
88
knowledge.
years old, so you don't have to say it.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
me a few more years,
Yeah.
like 5 more years, I'll start saying that. And I'm like, oh, I have turned. That is so crazy. I've never heard that in my life.
Well, now you know.
Now I know.
There you go.
Now I know.
I am an 88-year-old woman, everyone.
Thanks for educating us on that, Lee. Thank you for that. It's time for our Q&A. Are you ready?
Yay.
Question number 1. What is your favorite method of running away? A, horseback, B, FedEx truck, or C, on foot?
A, horseback.
What? FedEx truck.
You want the hot driver. That's
I want
it,
the
right?
hot. Yes, I'm a passenger princess, you guys.
Amazing. Question 2. Are you into enemies to lovers? A, yes. B, no. Or C, only when they're gay.
You see, yeah, only when they're
Yes.
gay. And our movie is enemies to lovers, so. Mhm.
Hot. I'm into it already. Whoever they are, I ship them.
Question number 3. Who was the worst groom? A, Gil, B, Brian, C, George, or D, Bob?
I feel like Gil is the worst.
Yeah, I'm like, I just paid so little attention.
Yeah.
The movie.
I know.
I feel like Gil's an easy vote because he's clearly the
He's
dumbest,
the dumbest.
So
Yeah.
he's got that going for him.
Well, and just like the whole like he's just playing a guitar like all the time.
Who's the priest?
That would drive
No,
me
Brian
nuts.
was. I thought Brian was like the second best.
I mean,
Brian.
I'm going to say Brian because he was making a mistake too. If she went through with it,
They were both lying to themselves.
yeah.
So true. Okay, question 4. What's your dream wedding? A, big ceremony. B, small, intimate on a mountain. C, beach wedding. Or D, city hall.
See, beach wedding, you guys. Do you not know we got married on a beach?
So yeah, I
That
gotta
better
say
be
C.
your
Yeah, I gotta
answer,
say C
too.
as well. C,
How
small,
funny would it
intimate,
be, though, if you were like, actually.
Actually. Yeah.
That
Mount
sucks.
Everest.
Cannot recommend it enough.
And a
You
bird.
want
You want a man to hold your eyes closed while you feel the sand on your.
Thanks, Ellie. I
on your
hate it.
All right. Question number 5. What's the worst thing Ike does? A, the article. B, the stalking. C, the home wrecking. Or D, proposing.
There's no like all the above.
You're not limited by a Twitter poll option, so you are welcome to say all of the above.
I feel like the article is the least out of all 4 of those.
Even though it's really bad, but like,
But they don't know.
sure,
it's
he
just
doesn't know
somebody-
her. It's
Yeah.
fine. Maybe the proposal, I guess. You're just being horrible to some woman for a whole week, and then you're like, let's get married.
I also, you know what I think is
Like
so funny is he
after
gives
doing
that
A,
whole
B, and
speech.
C, right?
Yeah, he gives that whole speech about how you should propose to somebody. And then when the moment comes, he's like, so, I mean, you've already got the church, right? And you're like, my guy, like, did you just cover this? Get it together.
And then she does a good proposal.
Yeah, she does. She is. Her back hurts from carrying that movie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's insane.
Here's the thing:
Oh,
you
it's
have
so
to you have
true.
to say your lesbian fact about why women get divorced more.
Because they have higher standards.
That's it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
So true. Wait, you mean why more women divorce
Well,
men, or by
yeah,
lesbians
both.
get divorced more than straight couples?
Lesbians.
Yes, both. So women are, it's like 80% will initiate divorce compared to like 20% of men that initiate divorce. And then lesbians have the highest rate of divorce.
Because you got
because you have
two
two women. And
Two women. Who,
and it's
yeah.
like it's like women, again, they like won't put up with crap and they have higher standards. So when you have 2 of them, they're both like, I can find someone better. But also because women have such high standards for other women in general too. So, because like women will have lower standards when it comes to men. That's why you get the like, he's a great guy. And you're like, this is literally such an average
He's a
person.
garbage.
He's a
Yeah.
garbage
Yeah.
man. And like women have to be amazing. And same with like lesbian relationships where you're like, I can do better. And you're like, this woman's already so great, but like we just have really high standards.
And this is
for women
why
as well.
Ike can propose by saying like, "Hey, you paid for the church. You got a deposit on the church already." And Maggie has to go like above and beyond.
Correct. Yeah.
To propose.
Yeah.
Damn.
Maggie's like, I bought this turtleneck special for tonight.
Yeah. And she's like, I have an 8-part proposal. Like there's so
Yeah.
many layers to this proposal.
All Ike did.
She's like, the next part is a scavenger hunt. Okay.
Exactly.
And all Ike did in that proposal was like put on a record that she gave him as a gift.
And she's like, yeah, dance with me. And she's like, I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm done.
I'm so in
This
love.
is
God,
it.
I hate it so much.
He's the one. So crazy. Well, we all can agree, though. Runaway Bride should have been gay.
100%.
Should have been gay.
Oh my gosh. What a ride. Well, before we wrap up, why don't you both tell us about your new movie coming up? Because it's coming up very soon.
So it's about two high school exes who break up, and then 10 years later, they're both home for the holidays after not seeing each other for like 10 years. And they keep bumping into each other. They have to kind of navigate their feelings, the gossiping town that like really wants them to get back together. And then they have to figure out are they falling back in love, or is it just like the magic of the season?
And then they get snowed in, and there's only one bed.
That's one twin-sized bed.
We didn't have
amazing.
a budget for them to get snowed in, but the twin bed is there.
Yeah. It's been in development for at least like 5 years. A lot of rewrites with the script.
Adriana wrote it before.
I wrote it before
Season.
Happiest Season. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And so also it was funny because it was at the time when we heard Happy Season was coming out, and we were like, shit. We're like, we have a lesbian Christmas movie. But then, because Happy
But
Season
also
was...
like, yes.
We were like, yeah, we're like, good. It's about coming out, and everyone's mad about it. And we're like, so ours is like, no one comes out. There's no homophobia, nothing tragic. It's just like happy gays that are mean to each other for a little bit and then fall in love.
So you're saying it's not a hate crime?
It's not a hate crime.
And we're supposed to enjoy it the way we enjoyed Happy
like,
Season? What are you talking about?
It's
I don't understand.
It's like if Kristen Stewart and Aubrey Plaza end up together. You know, it's that.
Yes.
It's that. Everyone's going to
Which
root.
is what we all freaking wanted.
Yeah.
Which is what we all wanted.
Everyone will root for our main characters. So.
And how can people watch it?
Right now it's available to pre-order on Apple and also on Vimeo for international pre-orders. And it's going to be available worldwide on VOD on December 3rd.
So
yeah,
exciting.
if you guys want the
Perfect
updates,
timing.
Perfect timing for the season.
Perfect timing for the season. And we have an Instagram at Last Xmas. It's EXMAS. You see what we did there?
Ha.
But so, like, basically with this movie, we wanted to make a rom-com that we just don't get. Like, we get all these straight ones, or we get lesbian ones that are, again, it's like about coming out. People are homophobic. It's like being gay is a tragedy. So we're like, let's just make like the rom-com that straight people always have gotten that we didn't get, and that we hopefully like you want to watch every single year because it's just like a feel-good, fun movie.
And because Adriana loves Julia Roberts movies growing up, loves them. All of the main character names are Julia Roberts character names.
So Maggie.
So if you would like to see a
Oh my
lesbian,
God.
Wait, are they really?
lesbian Maggie,
Yeah, you got her.
you got to watch our movie.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's
It's all come
amazing.
full
Exactly.
circle.
All comes together.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, also Maggie's a fucking gay name.
It's
anyway,
such a
so
gay name. Exactly. She's like, I'm not Margaret.
Makes sense.
I'm Maggie.
Maggie. Oh my gosh.
Working at the hardware store.
Working at the hardware. I know, we didn't even really talk about our jobs, but there's just so many other gay things in that movie.
And where can our listeners find you two as well?
You can find us on the Gay Women channel on YouTube, and then from there, just everywhere else.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you both so much for coming on. It's so good to see you after all of these
I
years.
know.
So good to see you. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun. I love talking about movies
And gay
things. And
Yeah.
It's the perfect
Exactly.
cross-section. You know, just two V's coming together.
Oh,
Amazing.
God.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci.
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen.
And Andrea Doucette. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. Patreon is by far the best way to support our show and help us pay our tiny little team. So if you can support us, we love you.
Remember, you can also find us on all social medias. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Lez Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com.
You can check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
We also have videos up on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/lezhangoutpod to catch those.
Lez Hang Out is an independently produced show hosted by us with audio production by me. Our production assistant is Kristen Murison, and other podcasting shenanigans by Lee Holmes Foster.
If you want to help support the podcast, the easiest way to do that is to leave us a rating and a review on whatever app you use to listen to podcasts. It helps new people find the show.
And like I said before, one of the best ways to support us is on Patreon. Our patrons single-handedly run this show for us. We super appreciate you. And we share our appreciation by giving you bonus episodes. So if you're like, I need more Lez Hang Out, which I know you are, join at bit.ly/LezPatreon.
We also have all of our merch and our new designs going up on our new store. You can find it on our website or at bit.ly/LezMerch. You want to keep your eyes out because we are going to be putting up all of our holiday merch designs soon.
And remember, we have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings that you can find everywhere at $$beanprod.
You can also check out our website, $beanproductions.com.
You can listen to all the episodes of our first show, The Flame, on any podcasting app.
And if you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/$beanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can follow me at Ellie Brigida on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellis H. Foster.
With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's incredible Only One story. We talk to real people dealing with issues like infertility, the death of a loved one, human trafficking, and women who, fake it. Oh, and we want to be fair, so we talk to celebrities too. Emmy winners like actor John Cryer, supermodels like Amber Valletta, and rock stars like Ryan Dusick. Everyone is invited to share their Only One story with our listeners. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee you that Only One in the Room has a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone. Download Only One in the Room on Apple or Spotify today.